doing something a little bit different today, and I'm taking my two favourite things in the entire world, which is reading and listening to the tea and drama of Reddit stories online with board gaming, because I'm a bit of a fan. All things tabletop, so we might cover some Dungeons & Dragons today, some board gaming, obviously some RPG, but we'll see where the video takes us. Before we jump into it, all I can say is board games don't always cause controversy, but sometimes they can. Hit that jingle.
Great collection, don't you agree? Scratch it off, board games the place to be. Yeah!
I hope you like the mic. I thought it was a nice touch. It makes me feel like a game show host. Anyway, first story. Am I the a-hole for letting my daughter help me set up my wife's board game? I'm going to put in my 2 cents before we read this story, just off the title alone. It depends on the child's age, because if the child is old enough to know better, then the child is at fault. But if they are a young infant or maybe even a baby, they're just a baby. So, let's see, I can envision something going wrong with the board game and some damage, perhaps. Let's continue. Yesterday was my wife's birthday. Happy birthday to your wife from 3 years ago. And I got her a new board game as a present. For background, we have a 3-year-old girl. Okay, we're looking very young. And my wife just had a baby and she's been a little down, but she's taking medication for it. No shame, postpartum depression is very, very common, but I don't know why it relates to the story. We were popping out the pieces after we got home from buying the game, and my wife asked me to please stop and that she wanted us to do it later so our 3-year-old doesn't mess with it or lose pieces, as it's a game she really wanted and it was a little expensive. You're telling me. I figured I might as well keep going, as we weren't doing anything at that moment anyway. She asked me to stop again, but I was halfway through doing it. Guess what, my dude? No means no. So if your wife asks you to stop popping out pieces of a game that is her birthday present, I'm already mad. He's the a-hole. I'm already mad. Our daughter was busy with a new toy, but then came over and started messing with the pieces. I started to tell her to stop, but my wife said, fine. If you're going to be popping them out around her, you may as well let her help, as it's going to be double the work trying to stop her from helping. So our toddler helped us get things set up. I kind of agree with mum here, because toddlers, when they don't get their way, the tantrum, sometimes it's better to just let things be. And the thing is, toddlers don't know the meaning of the word no. A lot of them don't. Guess who doesn't also know the meaning of the word no? This OP, the person writing this story. We didn't end up playing that night, but we played tonight, and a piece was pretty much broken from my daughter ripping it. No surprises there. My wife was pretty upset at her brand new game being messed up before we ever played. Not at our daughter, but at me for not putting the game up around our toddler. I'm mad at you too, by the way. I reminded her, she said it was fine if our toddler helped. Am I the a-hole? Yes. Yes, you are. Am I the a-hole? People go, they ask, am I the a-hole? Because they genuinely want to know, am I in the wrong or am I not? Sometimes they're looking for validation. Sometimes they secretly know they're in the wrong, but just need that confirmed. Yeah, I think he's an a-hole, and I'll tell you why. He specifically was told by his wife, no, I want us to do this together later because our 3-year-old is around. And parents have hindsight. She knows that if her daughter gets involved, something is going to happen in terms of the game's going to get ruined, the daughter's going to get upset, there's going to be some drama. And you were told no. No means no. And you know what? One of the best things about a board game is when you get to unwrap it from its shrink wrap and pop out the pieces and get to see what it is and setting it all up for the first time, because board games are beautiful and it is a joy and it is like organization, tickles your brain sort of loveliness, and you are taking that away from her. It is her present, an expensive present. Of course, you're going to want to continue with your day and come back to it later when your child is asleep, I'm assuming. Sidetrack, recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I went to go meet with a friend and he wanted me to bring some board games. So I chucked them in a bag because I was in a rush, I was running late, and it was raining. And I assumed the bag I brought was waterproof. it wasn't. And I got tiny, but substantial, tiny water damage on 2 of some really good games. And I freaked out. I was in the board game cafe and I was like trying to like fan it. I even asked if they had a hairdryer. I must have looked like a crazy person. If you're a board game collector, any sort of damage is going to freak you out because they are expensive. Some of them are Kickstarters, collector's editions, like... Come on. A lot of companies are really good, and if you say, hey, this piece got broke, they'll send it to you normally for free or a really small fee, but that's not the point. Let's look at the comments. What do they think? What do they think? You're the a-hole. Are you seriously that dense? Love this comment. Go for it. Go for him. She clearly told you not to put the game together and around your toddler. Then when your toddler starts to screw up her new game, she is exacerbated that you didn't listen to her and tells you that you might as well keep going, screwing up her game because you already started. Read the room better next time because it's clear as day what your wife is telling you. Round of applause for that commenter. Oh, and there's a reply to that comment. I bet he thought everyone was going to agree with him. Yeah, this gave I'm in the right entitlement. It sure did. He specifically started with that his wife is on medication for postnatal depression when it's entirely irrelevant, probably hoping that we all agree she's crazy. I didn't even think of that. I did say earlier, I don't know what this has to do with the story, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the story. He's just trying to pin it on her by being like, well, she's on medication, so clearly I'm not in the wrong because, you know, she's on the meds. She's got a very, very common, horrible thing that a lot of new mothers go through. So the sympathy from the husband in that respect is less than. Sorry, that comment continues. Feel very sorry for that woman if this is his attitude towards her. Yeah, I think this stems... I don't know this couple, I don't know their relationship, but I think this stems into a bigger problem. Him being the problem. Okay, I said this. She asked him repeatedly not to do something. That's what's getting me. That and him seemingly being confused as to why his wife is upset with him, but not their toddler. Do not blame the toddler. She is a child. She is an infant. She will learn, but not right now at 3 years old. Not for stuff like this, anyway. This one has already angered me, and no surprise, he was deemed the a-hole. The people have spoken, and the people were very, very correct. You thought people were going to side with you, didn't you? Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next one because that one got me angry. Am I the a-hole for not sharing the income from a board game that I created, even though he had a huge part in its development because he demanded payment up front? Ooh, this is spicy. I don't know anything about board game distribution design. All I know is that it takes a lot of money to produce. It takes a lot of time. If a board game does well, that's probably some substantial costs. So let's delve before we deem whether they are the a-hole or not. I love board games. Me too, pal. And a hobby of mine is creating my own games. I play my games with family and friends. I'm very creative in terms of inventing games, but I'm not visually creative. I can't draw, paint, etc. Me either. My brother, on the other hand, is an amazing visual artist, both drawing by hand and digitally. It's your brother. That's adding another layer. Family drama. I love it. Let's keep going. When I first started making games, I had this fantasy that I was going to get rich. My brother was on board and did all of the visual art. The assumption was we split the earnings 50-50. We had some fun, but at the end of the day, all of our games failed to find a publisher or sell. My brother got sick of all the work with no reward and stopped wanting to work on the games. That's another thing about the board gaming industry. I know that you've just got to be patient because it takes years. People I know who've designed games, they've literally... From day one, they knew this was going to take years and years and years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You got to be patient. I respected that he didn't want to work on the games, but I really thought one day I could make a successful game. I tried hiring a graphic designer for $60 an hour, but I just didn't have the same connection and we didn't get along. So I asked my brother if he would work with me, and I paid him $60 per hour. That is very kind of you when you're making literally nothing off of it. And you've already said you're going to go 50-50. He agreed. We made several more games together and he was totally disinterested from the sales aspect. From my point of view, I was hiring him to make my games. I can't believe I'm typing this sentence, but my absolute favourite publisher? What is a publisher? My absolute favourite publisher agreed to publish my game. I invented the game and its rules, but my brother was integral to working out details, sharing his ideas and creating an eye-catching design to get this published. I could not have done it without him. That's really nice. And well done. That is really hard, getting a publisher to kind of buy into your game and your vision. Awesome. The thing is that all of his contributions were paid for by me at the rate of $60 per hour. So now we come to the obvious conflict. Ruh-roh. My brother wants a co-creator credit and half the money. We never discussed terms, but when we were working together without pay, we agreed to split everything 50-50. But in my opinion, when he started requiring payment, he was an employee, and anything he did during this time was my property. This is hard. This is tricky because it's not in my wheelhouse. I guess if he was an employee, my thoughts are, as soon as you started paying him $60 an hour, you should have got him to sign some sort of contract or an agreement. And I know that's a bit icky because it's your brother, but when you're going into business together, you have to have those things in place, especially if there's a structure of someone's in charge and someone is below you and you're paying them. So yeah, a bit of a slip up on your part, but also if I was the guy doing the art and we were like, yeah, 50-50, this is going to be great, but you don't have to pay me anything. And then I started getting paid, I'd be like, this has changed, the dynamics have changed. Because if he's getting £60 an hour on top of 50-50 when this game hopefully does really well, you're making more than the guy who came up with the idea in the first place. Just my thoughts there. The reason why I don't think it's fair to have to share that with him is that I paid him literally thousands of dollars on projects that didn't yield money for me. So before he started requiring payment, I feel that we were both investing our time and skills, so the benefits were both of ours. Although nothing ever sold, for him to start requiring money from me, that seems like he didn't believe in me. Yeah, it's kind of a kick in the teeth from your own brother, eh? And now that I sold the game, he wants back in. I'll be completely honest, I've had people who not didn't believe in me, but didn't fully support the fact that I was going into social media, and they were like, well, it's really hard, you got to do this, you got to do that, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And then when you start doing well, like when I did well on TikTok, they suddenly come back and were like, oh, I knew you could do it. Well, did you? Because it didn't seem like you did. I absolutely admit that this game wouldn't exist without my brother's work and talent, but he got his compensation, and I don't plan on sharing ownership of the game with him. Ooh. As you may expect, my brother complained to parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles. You see, when it's a brother, you get the family involved, and we love it. We don't love it, but the family drama is hot steaming cup of tea. Let's keep sipping. Without exception, they all think I should share with my brother. That really made me second guess myself, since literally 100% of my family thinks I should share with him. Am I the a-hole? There's something about the whole thing that makes me upset, like my brother stopped believing in me. Am I selfish, or should I be able to keep all of that money? I have some thoughts. Let's delve into my brain and I'll tell you my thoughts. Before I do, we have a very important update edit. One thing I do want to mention is that the publishers have designers who are redoing all of the artwork to be more in line with their branding and style. Also, his artwork was not meant to be the fully finished for release. Even though this work was necessary to catch the publisher's attention and sell the game, none of it will be in the final product. So that changes a lot, because if he's not going to continue working on the game and someone else is going to take over from the art, then you definitely shouldn't split the money at not 50-50 anyway. I'm not a business person. I didn't go to do business at university, but I think because of all the hard work and effort that they did put in, even though they were still getting paid, they should still get a cut. A smaller cut, maybe like 10%, 20%, maybe even 25% if you're feeling generous. But yeah, not a 50-50 split, especially seeing as he will be doing no more work with this, and he not washes his hands of it, but he's taken a step back. He's done what needs to be done to get this game to be a success, which is great. I'm so happy it was a success. That's what I think. Split the money like 2070 as like a gesture of goodwill, and because he is your brother. But I don't think your brother should be demanding 50%. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would be interested to know. Maybe there's an update and we can find out more. Not the a-hole is a comment. You had the risk of sinking even more money into games who weren't successful. Your brother didn't want that risk and took an hourly pay. He got his reimbursement for his work. Yes, I do agree with that. OP, your entire family is agreeing with your brother because he's the one who complained to them, so he got to put his spin on it. Very true. If you're the person telling the story, of course you're going to make it sound like you are the hero. I'm always telling people this, but fight back. Yeah. Don't let someone else set the terms of the narrative. Tell them your side, write it out and include receipts. Then send an email to your entire family with the subject heading, my side of the story. Do it, OP, not the a-hole. Sending the group family email is a bit much, but yeah, I feel like justice does need to be served and you need to kind of clear your name. Okay, I've been scrolling for a while and I can't find an update as what the solution was on this. Maybe I haven't looked well enough, but I want to crack on with the rest of the Reddit story, so I'll put the link down below for you to read, and if you find what has happened, comment, send me a message. It sucks that your brother kind of jumped ship as soon as he realised that things were going to take their time. He's done his work, he's been paid, but because he is your brother and because it is a kind thing to do and probably a nice thing to do to avoid like legal stuff, give him a cut, not 50-50, 10%, 20%. Yeah. Is that good? Am I good at business? Am I good at business? Right, we've got time for one more. We've got a Dungeons and Dragons story, people. I cannot wait to hear this one. Here we go. Am I the a-hole? We're doing all a-holes today, apparently. That sounded wrong. Am I the a-hole for confronting my girlfriend about her Dungeons and Dragons romance? Ooh, this is even spicier than the last one and the one before that. Oh, love a good D&D romance. I've had many in my time. It's never been too much. It's always like a fade to black situation, which I'll explain in a minute, but let's read the story. My 24 male girlfriend, 23 female, of almost 2 years has a hobby of playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's not a hobby, mate. It's a lifestyle. And she's been playing with the same group for 3 years now, which consists of 3 guys around our age and her. No other women. Spoiler alert, everyone. Men and women can be friends and share hobbies together. Just putting that out there. They used to play pretty much every weekend at one of the guys' houses, but since COVID, they've been playing remotely, so I've been overhearing bits and pieces of their games while she's been playing from home. Remember COVID, guys? Let's not relive. That's how I found out my girlfriend's character got married to one of the guy's characters. I asked her about it, and she confirmed that they had a whole romance, had a wedding right before the big battle, said vows to each other, etc. That sounds epic! Soap opera meets fighting dragons and orcs and goblins and pillaging? Don't pillage. Don't do it. They were playing it off as funny and normal, but then the next week I heard them talking in character, it's in quotations, in character, come on dude, they were in character, to each other, and heard her say, I love you, and will always be loyal to you, with her voice sounding really sincere. This made me suspicious. He's a suspicious man, and there was something else going on between them. I mean, I don't think I would be able to speak to someone in that way without actually having feelings for them. It is called acting. I am a part-time actor as well, and guess what? If you kiss someone on stage, hug someone on stage, have a romance with someone on stage in an acting capacity, because you're acting, it's not real. Does he know that acting's not real? Should I go tell him that acting's not real? They spend a lot of time together every week playing, and she's very attractive. Got a good one there, did you? Why would this romance have started in the first place if there wasn't some sexual tension between the 2 actual people in the room? It's not that unreasonable. A suspicion IMO. So I confronted her about it. She basically said it's just a game and I shouldn't take it so seriously, and that there were plot reasons. There's the quotations again. They got married anyway. I said it was more the way she talked to him and the fact that this romance came up in the first place that made me suspicious, that something else was going on. She said something like, do you honestly believe I've slept with the other guy? Do you honestly believe I've slept with him? And I said, I don't know. Oh, the insecurity runs deep in this man. Again, acting. Just because you have a romance with someone in D&D, it's part of the story, it's part of the role-playing, it's part of the experience. It creates tension and drama and makes the highs even more high and the lows even more low. And that's why you keep going back for more and more and more. It's not real. It is fantasy. It is a place where dragons fly and people can use powers by playing a lute, and you can turn into a bear and you roll shiny dice to determine how well you hit someone. Dungeons and Dragons is not real. Put that on a mug and t-shirt. At that point, she basically shut down. No surprise. Then later that night, she went to stay with her mum. She texted me yesterday saying that if I don't trust her, then she's not sure we should be together. I do trust her. No, you don't. You just accused her of sleeping with the guy that you played Dungeons & Dragons, have a romance, and I don't really understand But I also think my concerns were justified. I no longer think she's actually having sex with him, but I think it was fair for me to ask, given the circumstances, am I the a-hole? I'm going to say it louder for the people at the back. Yes, you are the a-hole! This is your a-hole. Look at it. It's huge. All right, going to my Dungeons & Dragons experiences, because I have been part of several campaigns and one-shots and whatever, and RPGs as well. Romances happen. Just like any good story, romances add a little something to a storyline. There's more at stake if you're fighting for your life and you have a romance with someone across the table. Just because you have a romance does not mean in any way, shape or form you are actually sleeping with or involved with that person. Again, just like acting on stage. I know I'm repeating myself, but does this guy really not get it? Do you know what I think he should do? I think he should join one session as a character just for that, just to see what it's about, and realise that it is just fun and it is just role-playing and it is just a way to become somebody else and be part of this world and be a hero. And who knows, if he joins in a session, maybe he loves it and will want to stay or join a future session. I think it is so important that if you have a hobby that your partner loves, that you take interest in it. I mean, you don't have to actively take part in it. My wife doesn't particularly like board games, but now and again she will play with me and she will have a nice time, even though it's not for her, and she makes that sacrifice because she knows it's important to me. So, my guy, give D&D a go. You might learn to love it. And if you really don't want to, sit in and listen and find out what this D&D is about, because it is really great. Whenever I have had encounters of a spicy nature, whether that's with the game master or another character, it always is, it's just talking. It is just talking. And then whenever anything serious happens, it's always fade to black. And you never know. You never know what happens when it's faded to black, because it just happens in your imagination. And that's what I love about it. You don't have to describe in gross detail kind of the intimate things going on between two characters. You got to fade to black. That's all you need. And you can fill in the blanks. As long as you don't shoot them. No. No. Let's see what some commenters have to say. You're the a-hole. I agree. It's a game. Get over it. It's the same thing as an actor. That's what I said. Playing the part of a married person and saying the same thing. Kissing them on screen. Having sex with them on screen. As a spouse or partner, you don't get to be mad at that. It's just acting. Same with D&D. In this case, I mean, if they actually have had sex or made out, that would be going too far. But yeah, her comments in character are just that. Role-playing. That's why it's called a role-playing game. If you genuinely trusted your girlfriend, I don't think you would have had such an issue with made-up characters in a game getting married. You're the a-hole. Yeah, I think this stems again into your insecurity. Clearly there's no trust there, and if there's no trust in a relationship, what's the point? And you didn't communicate. I understand if you, even in character, if you hear somebody say, I love you to someone else, even if it's in character, that is quite jarring, and you can have a sit down and chat with them and you can say, hey, I know it's just a game. I know it's role-playing, but I really don't like it when you're so intimate with your words with somebody that I don't know. It is fine to have that open conversation and then you can talk it through and kind of figure out a compromise, but just going straight to, you must have slept with him. That's crazy. I have to say this comment to finish. D&D isn't D&D if I'm not trying to a dragon. Oh, top comment of the day. Someone's put underneath that, I found the bard. I think we're going to leave it there. No update from what I can see, but we are running out of time. Thank you so much for joining me for this Reddit stories. I've honestly had a great time. I wish I could read more. If you have any suggestions or Reddit stories that you find, please send them my way. My details are in the description of this video. Or you can send me links. You can send me maybe even stories from your own board gaming tabletop experiences. That would be awesome. That would be great. Hello, Editing Robin here from the future. Spooky. I forgot to mention, if you liked this video, make sure to check out my £100 challenge video where I put together a Board Gamers beginner collection for, you guessed it, £100. And if you've already seen that, why not like, subscribe, click that notification bell, because I'm going to be uploading new videos every single week. That's right, you heard me, every single week. I cannot wait. Let's head back to past Robin. Hope she's doing okay. My name is Robin from Scratch It Off Board Games. This has been a grand old time of reading about board game dramas and sipping tea, and I will see you in the next video. I'm not playing D&D if I'm not a dragon. That is excellent content right there.